to another Sunday Watch Soup. I am Bobby Legs with a new setup here. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Thank you, Clayton, for sending this in. I appreciate it. And hopefully the sound comes out great. And I'm not too hot. I'm not too hot. Um, Clayton, how are you?
You have the NPR vibe
I
going. I
know.
like it.
That's what I'm going for, man.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's a great mic. I recorded many an episode of the Watchdog podcast with it. So enjoy. I'm glad it's working out for you. And had a really nice weekend. Enjoyed the extra sunlight tonight. That's you lose track of time, right? Because you feel like it's early, and then you look and it's like, oh gosh, it's 6:45. What have I done today? Nothing.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, mentioning the extra hour of daylight and going forward with the clocks, um, kids were tough to get down tonight. Like I barely made it. And actually, my daughter, it's my turn to take her to bed this evening. She was still up, so I had to I had to pawn her off on my wife. I'm like, hey, I got Watch Soup. I got the guys. You know, Clayton, what watch are you wearing, man?
So I'm wearing a limited edition because I know we're going to talk about that. I'm wearing a weird watch that is one of the reasons I like limited editions. The Fortis Art Edition Frisson with the frosted glass, terrible blinding light, but it has a permanently frosted glass to think of like fogged up glasses and when you go outside when it's cold. So it's really illegible most of the time. You apply a little bit of moisture to the crystal and you can see the time and the date window clearly for just a bit, and then it fogs up again. It's an ultra cool watch, limited edition. For the
Yeah,
reasons I really like limited editions, but we'll get into that.
excellent, excellent. And Sanjay, how are you? What's going
Good.
on?
Not too much, same
Yeah.
old. My actually, three of my four kids are still awake. Uh, I just heard the baby wake up.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's this time change really,
it
really
really does.
sucks.
It really does. It doesn't
Yeah.
it? At least and it's gonna be like this for the next couple of days
Yeah.
until they get used to it. And it's like I wanted to wake up early this morning to wake them up, but then I was like, I don't want to. It still felt like 6:30 at 7:30. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I just didn't want to get out of bed. So hopefully Mrs. Legs gets them to sleep soon, and the resentment is not strong there, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so Sanjay, what do you have on wrist tonight?
On my wrist is
Ooh, I think I
the
know what it is.
infamous Tudor 34 mil Tudor Royal.
Yes, I caught your stream last night. A lot of
Beautiful.
drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I got friendly roasting, but it was a good roasting. I had a good time. The saying, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend," but
Yeah.
the kisses of an enemy aren't good. So I got a few wounds from friends.
Wow. Wow. You're really classing up the stream tonight with that quote.
Oh,
I
well,
got
thank you.
um I got the Submariner. I'm wearing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
looks so good on that rubber
I
bee.
know. I know. Rubber Bee really makes a great product. It's expensive, right? I mean, it's like 200 something. It's ridiculous how much it costs. I think it's worth every penny
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean? So no complaints. Hey guys, chat, welcome aboard. Hey, we have a little bit of an announcement. Um, Not only are you gonna enjoy the Watch Soup every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, but you'll be able to access and enjoy listening to Watch Soup as a podcast going forward. Clayton, take it away. Explain a little bit what people can expect from Watch Soup podcast.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it last week, actually before our first episode, but we wanted to make sure we got everything right last week, so we kept it kind of hush hush. But I think we have most of the audio blips figured out this week. So basically, yeah, a lot of. Actually, I got the Dateline is a podcast. We love true crime around here. Dateline and Forensic Files are both available as podcasts to the exact transcript of the TV show, one for one. So and I know like About Effing Time does it,
Mhm.
and I thought, oh, it might be cool because people miss the stream for whatever reason, and they want to catch it the next day, maybe driving on their way to work for something. We don't want them watching YouTube while they're driving, and bad things can happen there. So I thought it might be convenient to we'll just take exactly the audio from this, and we'll that's what we'll do. We'll do it as a podcast. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess that means in the next week or so we'll have a link available for the podcast, and we'll be able to share that with you guys through various platforms of social media, and looking forward to this new venture that Clayton's gonna help spearhead. Very excited, and very excited for the three of us and for everybody, because this is gonna be Watch Soup. It's gonna be every Sunday night, and it's always a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So, gentlemen, before we start, let's say hello to the chat and see what's going on. Bill K is here. Peter C is here. Hey, Bruno, what is going on? James Duffy is here. Good to see you. Kevin S, always. Uh, Bruno is chiming in. The time teller. I once asked him how many watches he could hide in his beard. He didn't think it was that funny. Ah, man. I mean, I would love. I mean, I wish I had a beard like that, and to be able to answer that kind of question. I would say four. I don't know. I'm just the number that I'm just saying right now. Four watches I could hide. The one more than Jeff McMahon's ideal collection size, apparently. Um, Peter C. Hey, I think I said hello. Hey, the intern is here. All right, chat. Let's try to target only about 10 minutes of the intro content for Bobby and Company. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Not only does the intern not do any work, but he also likes to take digs. Uh, anyway, yeah. Soup's on. That's right, Ms. Nine. Wilson is here. How you doing? Steve Time Hill is here. Ken Spear checking in from Pittsburgh. Good to see you. Jay, what is up? How you doing? The sermon on rest, excellent. Joey B is here. Rob is quiet. Am I quiet? Am I quiet? Let me know, guys, if it's getting any better. I have to remember to stay close to the mic. Clayton was telling me there is a far away setting. I still haven't figured it out all yet, but I'm doing the best I can.
Face with that microphone, Bobby.
Yeah. Sanjay, the tutor looks great on your wrist. Keep it. He's saying. Canadian Watch Monkey is here. Um, let's see who else is here. I think, Dib is here. The Royale will be a short lived romance, just like Meghan Markle and the royal
Oof.
family. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, she's still married, right, to one of the princesses, right? I mean, Prince William. No, it's not William, is it? It's one of them.
Harry.
Harry.
Yeah, Harry. Um, okay. Let's see here. Bobby Legs speaking with dulcet tones tonight. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what it is with these microphones, these headphones that you sent me, Clayton. They almost sound like noise canceling headphones. So like I can kind of hear myself. Oh, I hear myself, and so I want to be soft. I want to talk softly to you guys. Bobby's too quiet. Clayton's a little too loud. Oh, Navy Blue Monster. Sorry about that. Wayben, hey all, what's going on here? How you doing? Scott Tarlow is here. Hey guys, what's that quartz watch brand for kids with the timing bezel? They're they are plastic and come in cool colors.
Block, BLOK, or
All right.
Parchy. That's the other one, I think. I adjusted my volume. Hopefully, I'm coming in quiet now. We'll get it all ironed out, and then we can, if this one doesn't work out, we can always release the podcast next week.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Nerio, what's happening? How you doing? Um, Navy Monster, we're in the SPB 213 tonight. What's up? Nice. Chris Thorne, what's up, guys? Wearing the Ninja Monster tonight. Haven't worn that in a little while. Very, very nice.
Congrats,
Um,
Chris, on your 1 year anniversary and getting a watch. That was awesome.
that's right. Hey, what watch did I saw that it was his 1 year anniversary. What watch did he get?
I can let him tell it. Or he got a Black Bay 58 blue, I
Oh, very
believe.
nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the
Congrats,
original or the
Chris.
blue, Chris? Let us know. Um, yes, block. There you go. I'm rooting for Sanjay's fourth romance with the Royale 34. 30 more millimeter is the one.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin is saying Dib is waiting in the wings for Meghan Markle. Oh, that would be a nice little romance. And Clayton, still too loud. Okay.
All right. I put it down a little bit. more.
Okay.
So hopefully that works.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Clayton, should I also be trying to figure out some sort of like, sound equalizer system here?
Oh
Maybe
no,
it's
that
okay.
microphone really does it all for you, which
Okay.
is it's a
Okay.
great mic. It's kind of all in one. Really,
Okay.
really a great podcast mic for sure.
And Chris is saying, thanks, guys. That was a bit ago. Got a Black Bay 58 blue. Oh, all right. Bruno checking in. Clayton is perfect.
Well, for this one, we can just release the podcast, the actually talking about the videos. We can do that and cut all this
You know
out.
what? Yeah. You know what, Clayton? I'm sure you can work your magic. Whatever it comes out, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Um, we'll figure it out. It's all good.
Thanks,
Okay. So,
Bruno, for keeping us in getting our levels right here. Thank you, Bruno.
yeah, appreciate it, Bruno. You're our audio guy for sure. I mean,
Intern
look, I mean,
2.0.
yeah, intern, and yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe Bruno, you want the job as intern. You've already done more than the intern has ever done. Okay, so congratulations. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's talk about some watch stuff. Let's get into the soup. And the first one on board here, the time teller. Apple has killed watch collecting, and this was yours, right, Clayton?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You want to kick us off here, Clayton, this evening?
Oh, this guy. I don't think I've watched one of his videos since I was on Watch Soup last. I don't think. He's not somebody I watch for pleasure, that's for sure. So he talked about, if you're a watch collector, should you wear a smartwatch? I always have a fitness band on the right wrist, always. I use them not so much for the smart features, but for the fitness. I like to know my steps. I actually use it for work. This is a Garmin Vivo Active. So it works with the Garmin Connect app, which is fantastic for tracking. I can send clients, pictures of dogs on dog runs with it. But so I use it for that. I don't love the smart functions. I turn everything except text messages off. But he is dead set against smartwatches, right? He doesn't think a watch collector should wear them. He had a few reasons. The first is that they are pricey, and there's some planned obsolescence there, right? For what you get. The Apple Watch Ultra, Sanjay and I didn't actually think it was so bad when we talked about it on the podcast. Was that last week or the week before? Pretty reasonable, but we're a bad judge since only a watch is only $5,000. What value, right? So we're the wrong people to ask. But for the fact that something bigger and better is going to come out next year. I mean, the Apple Watch Ultra is probably going to come out next year, and everybody's going to want that, right? So there is some planned obsolescence there. You have to charge them every day, every couple of days, depending on how you use them. Constantly updating. So he doesn't like that. Number two, the luxury smartwatches. I'm with him on this. I would never buy a Mont Blanc smartwatch or a Tag. I think they're ridiculously overpriced for what I use a smartwatch for. I don't think it's great for me. I don't really know how well they track exercise and all that, like a Tag smartwatch. I have no idea, but I would stay away from those as well. I don't think they sell well. He mentioned that in the video. They probably don't. I don't really know who's buying those. And then he's not into the convenience or the supposed convenience, right? Always being connected. We're way too connected as it is. Even if you don't have a smartwatch, we're on our phone all the time. I do everything from my phone. I'm really not on my computer all that much, but I'm on my phone constantly for work and for pleasure. Very connected. So that's one of the reasons I shut off every smartwatch I've ever owned, mostly Garmin. I usually shut off because Garmin will actually just mirror whatever's coming on your phone unless you shut it off. So you're getting all the notifications, Discord, Facebook, all of them. So you can choose to shut them off. So I only do text messages, not even email, just because it's handy for me to have texts coming in on it. But he doesn't like that. He thinks we should be spending more time interacting face to face. And then he kind of went in to the romantic reasons why, he would never, because you can't pass a smartwatch down to your son. It's going to be obsolete in a few years. Nobody's, passing down the first or second generation iPod down to their to their son with an engraving on it or something, right? But so I think he totally ignored why people wear them and its functionality. People do like to track their fitness. People do like to, you can track everything. We've heard stories of people falling and, using their iPhone or Apple Watch to track where they are. So, emergency crews can get to them. I've been running and just shaking my arm, running my arm, and my Garmin detects an accident and you have to shut it off. One time I didn't know that. And my sister was actually listed as a contact, and she called me and she said, I got a text from Garmin that you had an accident. I was like, oh shoot, sorry. So I wouldn't want like a Breitling emergency situation if the 911 got called or something. I don't know. I wouldn't want that fine. So yeah, he's dead set against them. I know a lot of Pete McConville always has if you notice, has an Apple Watch on his right wrist or on the opposite wrist of a watch. A couple of my watch friends always have Apple Watches on the right wrist, traditional watch on the left. So just kind of wanted to see how everybody feels about it and if they wear both, if they double wrist. I usually always have a fitness band on my right.
Well, let me jump in because, and going off to what you just said, I also have a fitness band over here on my right, and that's a relatively new happening. Maybe in the last 2 months, I wanted to, just be more mindful of getting my steps in, right, and that's all I really wanted it for. I am not interested in adding a Apple Watch, for example. I don't want that connectivity that the time teller had mentioned in his video. Like it's already enough that I'm already addicted to looking at my phone all the time, and it's like, oh man, how do I break this? Like, what kind of example am I showing to my kids? Like, this is the kind of stuff I'm already thinking, and if I throw in an Apple Watch in there, man, I'm never not going to be connected, and I just don't want that. So, but I did want to do some sort of like kind of a fitness thing, and I picked up, I think for Christmas, this Fitbit, right? And it cost me around $70-$80, and it tracks my steps, and it gets me good. It gives me analyzes my sleep, which I'm also very, worried about. Like if I'm getting the right amount of sleep and a good amount of sleep, because that's something that stresses me out a little bit, right? Especially the older I get, I feel like my sleep is not as good as it used to be. Kids coming in interrupting my sleep. My mother had Alzheimer's, and they say one of the things to help prevent that, or is thought that can help prevent that, is good sleep, right? And so I don't want that to happen to me either, right? So anyway, and now Mrs. Legs, she got it, and she's way more competitive than I am, right? So she wants to beat me in steps. I'm like, okay, I don't care, you beat me in steps. I don't care. Go ahead, beat me. You have smaller legs. You're gonna take twice as many steps as I do all day. And she's like, because every day she's like, oh, I beat you in steps. Oh, I got 10,000 steps, right? And I'm like, yeah. Look how many calories you burned, and it's always less than me, right? Because I'm bigger than her, right? I mean, so, and I'm heavier than her, but then she doesn't really understand. So she's like, now that's her thing. Now she has to get more calories burnt than I do. And anyway, I just went a long way about saying that I'm not getting an Apple Watch. But I mean, look, the title's a little bit of clickbait. I mean, it's he doesn't really talk about how it's killing watch collecting, right? I don't think he really touched about that too much. Maybe
No.
he has before, but this is not going to kill my watch collecting. Even if I decided to get an Apple Watch, it's not going to kill my watch collecting. It's apples and oranges, these two devices, right? And so is somebody saying that there's something in the comment? Am I missing the comments? Because Sanjay's like cracking up, so I don't know.
No, it was the pun. Was that
Okay.
pun intentional? Apples and oranges? Apple
No, no.
Watch? Apples
Oh,
and oranges?
look, I'm wow. I'm hilarious. I don't even know. And anyway, so it's not going to ever kill watch collecting for me. And to be honest, I don't really use my watches to tell time most of the time. I said it right. I mean, I just like the way it looks. I appreciate the craftsmanship, the beauty of a watch, a dial, of the movement, right? I usually check my phone for the time. Anyway, especially with the cosmonaut that I was wearing today, I can't read that thing, but I just love the way it looks. Anyways, Sanjay, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, yeah, I did want to touch on the fact that, like, he didn't actually talk about the Apple Watch and killing watch collecting, and actually, the opposite happened in my case and in a lot of people's cases. Like even um, uh, Jean-Claude Biver, he mentioned that the Apple Watch is a good thing for the watch industry. People get used to wearing a watch on their wrist, and then it moves them on to when they're sick of all the technology, when they get older, like us, and they're sick of all the tech and all the
Mm,
notifications and just not being able to get away, then they move on to something that is timeless and classic, and a classic wristwatch, which brings them into, the world of luxury watches, which is unfortunate and fortunate at the same time. But yeah, for me, I was on the bleeding edge of tech. Like, I'd buy the newest watch, smartwatch, back in the day when they were nowhere close to ready for public consumption. I had the Pebbles, I had Sony Live Views, and I got into the LG G Watch, the Motorola
mm,
round watch, and so I was like riding that wave. I loved tech, and at one point I was like, you know what? I'm spending too much money on tech. I need to rein this in. Um, and ironically, I'm spending way too much money on on wristwatches. But yeah, I don't think I mean, his argument that the watch is um, not something that's going to last. I think that's probably the best argument that he has. But then at the same time, um, the phones that we use, they're $1,000 phones.
mm.
I mean, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but generally speaking, a good phone is around $1,000, and they don't last forever.
Yeah,
Generally 3 years, maybe
right.
tops, maybe 5 if you have an iPhone. Um, and then that's about it. And chances of you actually using it for that 5-year lifespan is even less. Less, there's less of a chance. And I think Apple is just going with, and the other smartwatch manufacturers are just going with, moving on. And that's another thing that people are just going to get sick of and wanting to get something more enduring. Um, so all that kind of tends to the Apple Watch not killing watch collecting. It's actually bringing people into watch collecting.
Mm, mm.
At least that's my theory. And yeah, I didn't mind the video. It was all right. It was
Yeah.
just a little strange. And just like Clayton, I haven't watched him since last Watch Soup. So
Yeah. Joey B saying, and to your point, Sanjay, I wear an Apple Watch when I work out only. Apple Watch is the reason I got into luxury watches. I hated wearing it regularly. Kevin
the
S
funny
saying, yeah,
funny thing is that if you walk into like the real Canadian superstore, which is I don't know what an equivalent is, like a Walmart maybe,
yeah, hmm,
or Loblaws. So Loblaws is probably the closest thing. Um, there is like a watch section, and now they have fashion watches that are like $10 that look like an Apple Watch. So
yeah.
they also get you used to having something that looks luxurious and that you want to put onto your wrist. It becomes that aspirational thing, which also probably moves you closer towards a luxury watch, like like a Seiko, a nice Seiko, or a Longines or a Rolex.
You're
So
saying that there's Apple Watch homages
yes,
out there?
yes.
Wow.
I was recently, actually, this past week, I was walking into our local grocery store, and they had a rack of watches, and the first three shelves was Apple Watch homages for
Wow.
$10. Yeah.
Stay tuned,
I
people.
don't I don't
Maybe,
even know if they actually told the time because they were just black. Like, so maybe they're just bracelets, but
yeah, maybe
I hope not.
maybe a new Borealis release coming up soon. You never know.
Yeah. There you go.
Um, Kevin S says,
Even even Moser did it too. Moser
yeah,
even
that's
did
right.
it. So
Moser did.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
yeah.
I hear that Bruce Williams is passing down a smartwatch to his daughter. Oh, Kevin with his jokes. AJ is saying lots of Apple Watches purchased so people can track fitness, yet the obesity rates keep going up. Go figure. AJ going deep into thought about the Apple Watch. 911 Dan says, I bought an Apple Watch for my mom just in case she falls. And Clayton, you're making some of those points out useful in that way, like with your Garmin and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's not like it doesn't have its place, um, but it's just an interesting connection he was trying to make in regards to watch collecting, right? And which he didn't make the connection at all. He just ranted on why he would never get one, right? Um,
Much like Sanjay, I also got into traditional watches through just being sick and tired of wearing my Garmin Phoenix 5, which is a big watch. And it was
mhm,
just tiresome and it, it didn't fit all situations. I didn't think. I saw pictures of myself kind of dressed up wearing this behemoth smartwatch. And I was like, eh.
yeah,
So yeah, I decided to splurge for, a nice actual watch. And, here we are. So yeah, I believe it totally gets people in, just like the
mhm,
Moon Swatch is getting
mhm,
new people in. I think
yeah,
the smartwatches do. They can accessorize
mm,
straps
yeah,
also, so it gets
yeah,
people used to doing that. It's super fun. It's
yeah.
anything that gets people used to, like Sanjay was saying, something on their wrist. I think is beneficial for the future of the watch hobby. And yeah,
Yeah. Bruno saying, if you own two Apple Watches, is that a pair? Oh, Bruno with the dad jokes. Look at that. That's a good one. Kevin S. Life alert is fire. I'm on a waiting list at Dwayne Reed. Uh, if anything, Joey B says, I think smartwatches have helped watch collecting. Oh,
Mhm.
interesting point. Would like to hear more about that, Joey.
I think they're at the core. Another Apple joke.
Oh,
No.
oh, man.
Oh God.
Uh, James Duffy saying, I think Apple Watch wearers might be easier to convert to wearing traditional watches than those who refuse to wear anything at all. Interesting
Yep.
take. Sanjay, waiting patiently for the name Seiko to be mentioned. Uh, it soon will
I think
be,
I did
I
that.
have a feeling.
He took
Uh,
matters into his own hands.
Yeah.
yeah. Chris is saying, honestly, if anything, Apple Watch is helping the watch industry. Non-watch people are getting used to wearing something on their wrist now. Okay. Okay. Paul saying, watch collecting hit the mainstream for the first time since they were useful. Status and nostalgia will always sell. And the richest man on the planet runs a fashion house. Vanity rules. Um, Joey B saying, Jory doesn't know much about watches either. Oh, that's a little harsh. I mean, I think he knows some stuff about watches, Joey. But I get your point. Um, Dib with this time yeller is not infinitely valuable. Um, Sanjay would disagree.
Respectfully disagree.
Yeah. Um, Bruno is saying, think of this. Most kids that have an Apple Watch probably can't tell the time on an analog watch. You know that I think there's some truth to that, Bruno, and that's pretty sad, right? Um, you know, I saw a payphone for the first time today in like 15 years.
Wow.
And my kid, I was like, look, I was like, my son's 6. He's like, I want to show you something. I mean, that's a phone, and he was like, that's not a phone. You know what I mean? Because he's used to seeing this. He's like, that's not a phone, and I'm like, yeah, you used to put coins in it, and then you talk to people, you hit the buttons, and he had no idea, no idea. I mean, it could have been something from outer space at that moment in time for him. You know what I mean? Which is interesting.
Doctor
Um,
Who reference?
yeah. James Duffy saying, I think the myth of tether technology is that the user believes they are holding the leash and not the other way around. Underachieving Watch Collector says, I blame Bobby for making me watch the time video. Don't blame me.
Well,
Don't
you
blame
asked me to do this again, so I do actually blame you.
No. This is the Time Teller. Time Teller is excellent for this show. Trust me. I mean, he puts out a lot of interesting stuff for sure. At least we'll get a kick out of it, right? Okay, so hey, let's move on to the next one, and that is the 24 hours at a time. The limited edition watches suck. Here is why video. And Sanjay, that was your pick. You want to give us a little breakdown of the video?
Yeah. So this was from Oleg,
Hmm.
friendly fellow Canadian, and I usually like his videos. I didn't quite agree with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Saw
uh,
that coming.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I I made this point before too, like that limited edition watches are tiring, and it's nicer to see something that is limited production, or just produce what you produce.
Mm.
Rein in the overproduction, and it's just good business, to good business practice to keep your supply in tune with the demand. Um, but I think so. Just to describe the video real quick, he kind of mentions that limited edition watches are kind of a scam. At least 90% of the time, I think he said 9 out of 10 times, limited edition watches, it kind of preys on your fear of missing out instinct, not wanting to miss out on a certain watch,
Mm.
and they try to sell you something else, because if this watch is not available, there's some other watch that is regular production that is available. And there was just the hype mindset, I think he was talking about, um, that we live in a hype society. And there was he said there were no pros to limited edition watches, and I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of pros to limited edition watches. I think one thing he did mention was the fact that um, the the fact that you get bragging rights to having a watch that no one else can have, and I think that's kind of not fair. So for I was thinking maybe we can talk about some potential pros or cons to limited edition watches. Um, of course, like I mentioned before, I do generally really like Oleg's videos, but um, one pro that I can think of is the fact that brands get to do different dials, different things, like something artisanal,
Mm.
something a little more wild.
Like
Um,
this.
yeah, that they normally wouldn't be able to do. They can do it as a regular production watch, but then, I think maybe financially that's not sound. But I think it gives brands an opportunity to do something a little bit different. Um, Now, a con that comes with that, I think, is that if they do a specific watch or a line that's um, only limited. So, like when the SPGY 003, one of my favorite watches from Grand Seiko, when that came out, that was the only watch in that configuration that you could get, or something that was in precious metal, for quite some time, for about a year, I think. And when it comes to that, I think that is not so nice, because then there's a lot of people who won't get the opportunity to enjoy that watch. Although they didn't make 700 of those watches, and they were pretty pricey, so I think everyone who wanted to enjoy that watch was able to enjoy it. Now, of course, you have alternatives, right? Someone wants the SPGY 003, they can look at the SPGY 007, the Omiwatari, just as an example. So um, I was just I was a little perplexed. I
Mm.
was like,
Mm.
limited edition, it's good. It's good to have choice, right? And he was also talking about brands doing this to increase their brand equity, like Omega with the Silver Snoopy Award, the Snoopy 3. They were going for multiples of their retail value, and that brings more brand clout to the brand. And they aren't even. And I think one of the things that baffles me is you can still get a speedy, and you can still enjoy
Mm.
the speedy, you know. And one thing that baffles me is that you're everyone's supposed to enjoy every watch. Like we're not entitled to these things, right? They're
Mm.
all either they're there or they're not there, and if they're not there, then look elsewhere. Right? And it's like a really weird mindset to have, to say that, hey, I want that watch, so I'm entitled to that watch. And yeah, that's kind of where it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But I don't know, your thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong here.
Well, let me jump in. I think I get it. I mean, I think at times it's a scam, and I know this because back in 2007, early 2007, I was going to buy a Rolex Submariner to celebrate a moment. And I went to Tourneau, and I was conned by a fast-talking salesman who sold me on a Tourneau Gotham Aurora chronograph. Only 499 made. And I jumped on it because I feared that I was missing out on an opportunity if I didn't buy this watch. And that the Rolex Submariner was just surely around the corner available at any moment in the future. Yeah, man, it's total scam. It's a total scam. These limited editions. I am soured. I'm soured since 2007, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, there's some limited editions that are pretty cool, and they deserve to be limited editions, and maybe a little bit harder to get and collectible. But there's some brands who really take abuse of that. Like, I mean, seriously, I mean, Seiko, the SPB 149, 5,500 limited. Come on. It sounds like not a big of a number, especially when you think about the overall production of Seiko every year. But you can find those watches, right? You can find a lot of these watches, out there. And I think he used an example of a Mido that was like, 1,891 or 1,981 pieces out there. And that's like only 1,980. But then when you realize there's not 1,900 people buying this watch, you know, especially with there's so many watches out there from so many different brands, yeah, I mean, I could see both sides to this, but as the story I started off with, I've been burnt by the limited edition FOMO, which was created in that situation, and I fell for it. I fell for it so badly, and it's one of the biggest watch regrets, I've ever made. I knew instantly within a week that I made a terrible mistake. And because of pride, I didn't, go back and return the watch because of pride. I mean, like, so stupid. So stupid. You know what I mean?
I guess I don't have a story that goes with that, so maybe I don't have that mindset. Like when I see 1961 limited edition or 5,000, I think, yeah, okay, well, that's not limited, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, scam's harsh though. Scam is, like scam is criminal.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think it's a criminal thing that the brands are doing. I mean, what that salesman did though, that was not right.
Clayton, was that a scam? Is it a scam?
I generally fall with Sanjay. I like limited editions because they do weird stuff like this Fortis that, they would never make this a regular production model. They would lose their shirt, but they made 999 of them. I think that's great. I think experimental stuff. Now, when the brands like Doxa has done it and Seiko has done it, where they will do a limited edition and then release a standard production model very, very similar. And it kind of makes the limited edition you bought that you thought only, a few hundred people were going to have. It makes it a little less special. And then, people who bought the limited editions are upset, understandably so. Obviously, they bring with them flippers, resellers, right? When a Hodinkee limited edition comes out or something like that, the flippers have the bots buy them all up, and then they're on eBay within the hour. Before they even get the watch, they're up there for 3-4 times retail, whatever it might be. That's kind of the bad side. But maybe I'm wrong. I heard this, but I heard somewhere, and I can't remember where, authorized dealers are actually requesting that brands do limited editions to help move merchandise, to help people get in the door. I don't know if that's somebody maybe can back that up or if they heard that. I can't remember where I heard it. So maybe the authorized dealers are asking for it, and maybe that's why brands like Seiko are doing so many. I don't know. I generally like them. I can see through the fact that sometimes this is a blatant FOMO, and it works on me every time. I'm a sucker for it. You got me. I'll fully admit it. So I generally like them. I thought he was a bit harsh. It makes the watch collecting hobby fun to have something a little bit different.
Mm.
Just that maybe not everybody else has that feeling of exclusivity is kind of fun. We like that when we're hunting for things. So yeah, I generally like them, but yeah, I mean, what that guy did to you, Bobby, what the salesman did to you there, it's kind of dirty.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I see your side of it too.
Is there so who's the biggest offender? I mean, is it Seiko? Is Seiko like the biggest offender of this? Meaning that, are these pieces really actually um, limited when they put out limited to 5,000, limited to 8,000 to 9,000? I mean, they've done smaller limited editions. I have a toppers collaboration with Seiko that's 500, and I think that's a limited number. I mean, that's pretty good for Seiko, right? Um, but I feel like Seiko's the biggest is the biggest offender here. If that's the term you want to use, and that's the term I'm using. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
they
Okay.
they do the most. Seiko and Grand Seiko, they probably do
Yeah.
the most limited editions. But then, yeah, I guess quality limited editions are different. Like but then see, like even in the auto world, maybe Dib can appreciate this, but like a Toyota Corolla, there's always an LE, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Toyota Corolla LE limited edition. I'm only guessing that's what it means, but I think the general, like the world at large, is understanding that limited editions aren't really limited. Um, I've noticed this with with games, like video games. They're not doing limited editions anymore. They still do, but they're now collector's editions, right?
Mm.
So they're not limited anymore. You just pay a bunch more for a bunch of extra swag that's inside the video game if you're a collector. Um, and uh, and I think the world in general is like wisening up to the limited editions. Limited editions aren't really limited for the most part, unless if you're buying something that's like 30 pieces from Moser, right?
Right.
That's limited, but yeah.
Yeah. Limited edition watches are for connoisseurs. Regular watches for chumps. That's what Viv says. Paul's saying, I don't think they suck. Case by case basis. I simply like the idea that if it's been allowed to be a cast member versus a special guest star. Here we go. I think Joey B was commenting about the music I was playing. Joe Chang says, I hear the music and now I'm here. That salesman really grabbed Bobby's cash. You had me at hello. At least our boring beans and bezel says artificial scarcity is where it's at.
Omega's wisening up to that.
Yep.
Yeah. If Mac talks, saying he's got his Casio NTP Sapphire 39 millimeter on. Kevin S. I enjoy collecting limited editions from quality brands. James is saying some LEs fall further in resale value because the seller doesn't know it is limited or there is less awareness of it by watch buyers. The Torno salesman was criminal. He was just doing his job. He was just doing a really good job. Grand Seiko limited editions get my FOMO going, not necessarily in a good way. Yeah, I hear you. Joey B, at the end of the day, if you love the watch, buy it. Don't be swayed by whether or not it's an LE. Well, I wish you could have told me that 16 years ago, Joey. Don't blame we the flipper. Blame your slow ass for not tying your credit card details faster. Okay. You got it. Torno salesman is not doing 8 to 10 upstate. All right, scrolling here. Hey, Howard, how you doing? But Seiko is so large of a producer, a 3,000 piece limited edition is likely justified. Yeah, and I think that's where I was like thinking, like, limited edition for Seiko, like, what does that mean? Because they produce so many, right?
And they produce so many for specific countries, like Thailand. It's a lot of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thailand, like sumos are like insanely priced once they hit the gray market. It's incredible. Jory B says, I hear Jory hates Apple Watches except for the limited edition Apple Watches. Okay, let's scroll in here. Okay, so He's now the store manager. Yeah, he's probably like president of Tourneau actually. What was that AP John Mayer had on? So my buddy was at a concert here my buddy Nerio, and he took a big picture. I guess John Mayer was on a big screen, right? And he was wearing, looks like a Royal Oak tourbillon. I think it was a titanium, Royal Oak turby. Man, guy's got some great watches, right? Okay, moving on. Let's go into the final topic this evening. And you knew that I couldn't bring back or come back to Watch Soup without at some point discussing Jeff McMahon and a video of his. And this week's video that caught my eye was the watch addiction is demon lipstick. Always so dramatic with the titles. Such an introspective thinker, Jeff is. It's almost like it's painful to watch, right? But for me, there is so much identification. And then I think there's also a part of me that just like really enjoys someone else's pain. Which is that's a different stream for different topic, different channel. But anyway, so he's been collecting for 18 years, and he makes this analogy with his mother's spaghetti, right? He grew up, his mother made the best spaghetti. He would go to his friend's house and they'd have spaghetti, not close to the same. It was whatever she did was a perfect put together of ingredients. It was just the best combination. And he feels that way now that he has this 3-piece watch collection. He's been collecting for 18 years. He's been through it all. And now he's down to 3 pieces. And every once in a while, he thinks about maybe adding something else. But then he thinks to himself, well, why ruin the spaghetti, right? Why ruin the spaghetti? So he has this 3-piece collection. He thinks it's perfect, yet he still, is an addict, right? And so he still does 3 things, right, that really go against his, happiness, right? And one of them is that he still, eye candy. He still goes online and sees what's coming up, what's new, right? And he gets himself all worked up on that, and he comments about how, all this kind of like immediate satisfaction and candy, like he can't even like read like a story or paragraph anymore because of this attention span is like nothing now, right? The second one is this fantasy of that he allows himself sometimes of finding a grail watch, right? And he thinks he has one, but he always thinks about the grail. And a lot of us, I think, can identify at some point in our collecting, we have identified a watch that would be our grail watch, right? And then he also was mentioned that he fell into the trap of getting like $1,000 watch every month. You know what I mean? Like he got to a point when his watch collecting where he was just like buying watches, $1,000 watches, like it was nothing, right? And so like he is still kind of like susceptible to any of those things at any particular moment in time, or at least thinking about them or considering them seriously when it comes to juxtaposing that to his 3 watch collection that he now has. Believed he's achieved this like sort of like kind of like nirvana and whatnot. And so like I mean he's very dramatic, and he says if you peel away all that stuff, it's demon lipstick, underneath there's still like the issue, you know what I mean? And I get what he's saying, right? I mean there is a part of me that wants to be or thinks that I have a perfect collection for myself, but I'm always looking to see if the grass is greener. I have like a couple of watches that I think like are grail type watches, right? And I allow myself the fantasy of maybe one day I can get that, and in real reality maybe that's not the right thing for me. And then getting into this habit where I start, just buying watches willy-nilly and then getting one every month and whatnot, which, that has slowed down for me for sure. But a lot of identification here. I know he's very verbose and very dramatic, and it could be a put off to a lot of people. But I like watching it every once in a while because it kind of like centers me a little bit. You know what I mean? It's weird for me to admit, but it's like kind of like that's like kind of like my center. You know, Jeff McMahon like talking about himself and the pain that he goes through. Anyway, I'll stop talking now. Sanjay, what did you think of the video?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I kind of got something a little different from it. Um, I was wondering if what he meant by demon lipstick is like if you take away his watch addiction. Maybe he's been talking about this so much that I put it together. But if you take away the watch addiction, what lies under there is too scary to even comprehend. You know, like what's he gonna fall into next,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like if this is just the veneer that's protecting him from something nasty. But yeah, as for Jeff McMahon, I think it's an interesting subject.
Yeah.
Just seeing how tormented he is, you know, of with his collection. I think he just released a video and he's talking about a fourth watch now.
Yeah, fourth watch.
Did he actually buy one? Did he see the video?
Bought the SLA 043 for probably the millionth time. He has had,
no.
yeah. So I feel like it's a backward step because didn't he just release a video a while ago saying he wasn't going to buy a watch for 1 year?
Yeah.
We all say that crap, right? But he has a YouTube channel to hold him accountable, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I saw some comments because he's on Instagram and he posted it, and somebody even said like, "I'm so sorry to see this. I feel like this is a real backward step for you." And yeah, it's like he's owned the Marine Master like so many times, but this time he's not going to put it on bracelet. It's only going on strap. So
yeah,
the
So,
demon lipstick got peeled away, maybe.
yeah.
023? The
Yeah,
23?
the blue one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marine Master, okay.
Did
Yeah,
buy it from
that's-
Dib? I don't
That's
know.
unfortunate because I mean, and he does say he doesn't want to be congratulated, right? It's like, don't congratulate me. This is such a he's in so much torment. I don't quite understand. Like, see, he actually is trapped. Like, and he's trapped in something that should be something that makes you happy. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe it's a good thing that he's taking the demon lipstick off.
Yeah.
Maybe he has to deal with what's underneath to heal from this, because maybe this is a real problem for him. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what he says about the SLA 023 rebuy. Yeah, maybe next week on Watch Soup. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Clayton, you've had him on your podcast like twice.
Yes.
What?
Yep. And I chat with him. I chat with him on Messenger here and there. It's his personality because he's done it with other things before. Watches. Maybe he puts watches aside. I think it's transistor radios he went crazy on. Kettlebell workouts, like that kind of stuff. So I think he just has an addictive personality, whatever he gets really obsessed with. If it wasn't watches, it would be something else. It just happens to be watches. And thankfully it's nothing, substance related or anything like that, right? Like it's watches. You can do a lot worse, right? So I watched this and I know just from private conversations with him too, like I know he loves watches obviously, but he's very tormented. I sometimes think I'm tormented, and then I'll throw a video like this on and I'm like, whoo, feel way better about what I'm going through. Like you were saying, Bobby, it's like sometimes we take solace in the fact that somebody's suffering worse than we are, as sick as it is to admit. Sometimes it's human nature to feel that way, I think. So I was kind of disappointed to see him buy the 023 because he's owned at least a few different versions. He's owned that a few different times. He's owned the 021, the black dial, a few times. It's like somebody said once, rebuy is the watch collector's version of insanity, right?
Yeah. I love that he bought it.
Sorry, Sanjay.
No,
I was talking about you.
I love that he's bought a fourth, right? Breaking his promise to himself of only keeping 3, and then it's a rebuy. Like now we have another year of videos from him.
Yes.
You know, so like I'm happy that he bought it. I'm not sad.
Yeah, it's like you want to see him, you want to see him happy and enjoy.
Yeah,
We do this because we enjoy it and we love it. And as fun as it is to watch these videos with him just kind of squirming his way through watch collecting, and yeah, it's like I do feel for the guy because I think he is like genuinely a really funny, nice guy. He's really kind,
yeah,
like a big teddy bear. So
yeah,
I want to see him just enjoy watches.
yeah.
But
Me too.
we all do it to a certain extent. We make
Yeah.
resolutions or whatever it
Yeah.
might be, or this year I'm doing this, and
Yeah,
it lasts for a little while, and then because things just change, all the new releases that come up.
yeah. We're helpless.
We have wandering eye, and we just
I mean, like it's not our fault,
right.
you know. It's not. It's
Those
just not
damn
our
limited editions.
fault. Right. Let's catch up with the chat here. Beans is saying, I think Seiko's limited edition really just means limited production. If they interchange those two terms, I think their strategy makes more sense. Bruno, finishing up on the LE issue, I don't think the number of watches of an LE limited edition is an issue. The limited edition is a one and done production. Kevin S saying it truly is painful to watch many YouTubers. Never underestimate the power of mom spaghetti. Absolutely, James. Jeff needs a toast program. Goth Lipstick says time hell. Symphony Rid of Bezel. This dude needs to chill out. If your watch addiction is your biggest issue, you need to get a problem. Actually, if your watch addiction is the biggest issue you have, maybe you're doing good. Maybe we got to look at it that way.
Unless you're addicted to Patek or something, and you're spending, the house.
Well, okay.
You lose the house or something.
Good point.
Don't we know someone who's along those lines?
Yeah, maybe. I always think, says Kevin S, of Mrs. McMahon when I think of the fine Italian home cooking. She sounds more like a beer and potato kind of gal. Well, maybe she married into it, Irish. I mean, there's a lot of Irish Italian couples, you know.
What did he say? His friend's mom's spaghetti sauce tastes like motor oil.
Yeah. What's on the TV, man? What's on the TV?
When he told the story about moms going to hairdressers for like 10
Yeah.
hours, I could totally visualize that.
Yeah. No, he paints a good picture. It's funny. Canadian Watch Monkey. I have my addiction well under control. Only 2 cases of 15 watches each. Penny a la Guinness. The best Jeff McMahon I ever saw was my imitation. Yeah, I did an imitation once.
Oh, that was good.
Bad.
That was good. No, that was
It
really
so
good.
bad. Jeff bought the 4th in his newest video. His channel may not be around long if he gets to 5.
Yeah, that's what he said. Pretty much, if he gets over 5, we're supposed to do something to him.
Yeah. I completely accept that collecting absolute status symbols is stupid. I'm an idiot, so it's an awesome fit. Jeff would not be a good coin collector. Oh no, I missed the entire stream. What happened to the 2 a.m. start? We were just a few minutes delay, Ms. On One. We were just trying to fix some audio stuff.
It was our time change too.
Oh, that's right. It was our time change too. Yeah, we did jump an hour ahead. And I think you guys may jump, if you jump at all, maybe in 2 weeks from now. Yep, the SL023 rebuy. Potatoes Parmesan.
If he bought another watch, it would have been okay, but we've all heard him say so many times how that watch just doesn't work for him. Sanjay and I talked about it on the podcast. We want it to work because in many ways, even though it is so thick, it does wear so well because it does like lug to lug wise have the Seiko magic wearability. It's a heavy watch, even on rubber strap. And he has mammoth wrists and it's too much watch for him. So
yeah. Paul saying, I think it's pathetic. I can't get down to a reasonable amount of watches and my place in the universe. I don't need this drama. I got my own. Kevin is saying, I'd like to see him go down the Andro and HGH rabbit hole.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
What's that?
there's a performance enhancement
Oh.
drugs.
Yeah.
Underachieving watch collector never did a rebuy. Once a watch is gone, it's dead to me. Hey, you know what? I've rebought watches. I know Sanjay has, and I know Clayton has.
I've rebought. I don't know if yeah, I guess I have rebought. Yep, I have. Yep. I was
Yeah,
gonna say they've been different versions each time, but no, I did an actual rebuy too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We've
I
all
mean,
done it
yeah, we've all done it, and there's no shame. There's no shame. We're trying to rekindle.
because we sell on impulse a lot sometimes, and the fact that we want something new wins over the fact that we really like the watch we're selling or trading sometimes. And when we think about it for a bit, we're like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Kevin says I bought one of his old Citizen dive watches, which he has since rebought.
Oh, Jeff.
I like how Jeff is so much pent up angst over Segos. Chris says, Jeff is a great guy. He reminds me of the prototypical college professor who overanalyzes everything, but he comes from a good viewpoint. Had him on a live a year ago, so ago, and he's a great dude. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, he is a really nice guy.
8-inch wrists. One rebuy for Bruno was the glycine. Let's do female YouTubers, Rob. Well, yeah, I mean we've done female YouTube in previous the previous iteration of WatchSoup, and once we get some videos from Jenny L. I mean I think she's kind of slowed up a little bit, and
Watch Gringo got hurt.
Yeah, watch. Britt
Oh
got
yeah,
hurt.
terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And then there's the other ones. Whenever they put out a video, we're equal opportunity. We'll analyze.
I think Elizabeth Grant is starting a second channel helping YouTubers or telling people how she makes quality videos. I think from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
She said she's more than open to sharing how she does everything. There's no secrets. So.
Yeah. I mean, and that channel will probably blow up more than her watch channel, right? I mean, because that kind of stuff, that gets hits. I mean, I watch that kind of stuff all the time because I'm always trying to see if I can improve my videos with the least amount of effort. Time Hill, Steve, she was riding a bike and got hit by a car. So I think she got pretty banged up too. So
yeah, she's going to jaw surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. She posted a photo on the YouTube community tab and looked pretty rough. Poor girl. Yeah. She's had a rough go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I admire her spirit though. She was, seemed like she had good spirits in in what she wrote, at least.
I mean, she's very, very valuable, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, infinitely even.
Don't forget Precious. Don't forget Precious.
Watch her Instagram. She will tell you all about it. Yeah, I'm sure. It sounds like she's going to be okay eventually. But yeah, rough. Well, be careful out there riding a bike. That's why we are moving the Watch Soup to a podcast, so you can listen and not watch YouTube while you're riding your bike. Anyway, hey guys. Great episode tonight. Great conversations. Chat, awesome job. Also looking forward to, keep your eyes out there in our social media platforms when we announce this episode coming live on the podcast. Hopefully we get our audios right. If not this time, we'll definitely get it right next time. It's a work in progress, but we'll entertain you while we're trying to do it. Guys, any final thoughts? Any watches you're going to be buying in the next couple? Any limited editions that are interesting you lately?
No. I'm pretty. I did list so the Black Bay 58 bronze. I listed it for sale. I pulled it. I listed. I don't know. I'm just gonna put it in my closet for. Do that trick, but it's probably dead to me. But the thought of I haven't sold a watch since probably November, which is pretty long for me. And the thought of just losing a bunch of money on a watch, I really do enjoy wearing. It's just not worth it. So I don't know. I'm practicing some patience here. Demon lipstick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm burning down all my Seikos except for the SNR. So I put out a video a couple days ago, a sale video.
Any
Probably
action on that?
no, not really. And usually the videos are hit or miss. Sometimes when I do watch sales, they do great. Sometimes they don't. I usually, if they don't sell off the videos, then I just go on Watch You Seek,
Mm.
and usually, I mean, they're Seikos, they're gonna sell, so not really too worried about it. But keeping that SNR, it took me buying four Seikos to figure out the right Seiko, the fifth Seiko that I bought this year was the right one for me.
Yeah.
Um, Sanjay, anything post
Yeah.
Tutor Royale?
Yeah. Actually, a video should be live now on the Tutor Royale.
Oh, so that's what
And
it's you only have like 2 weeks with that watch now, right?
no, it's unboxing, so
One day.
Oh,
not
okay,
really
okay, okay,
unboxing.
okay. It's the
But
review is usually the kiss of death. Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
But I will be doing a video on the Elegant. I have all the footage, and I
Mm.
just
Oh
need
yeah.
to edit it
Awesome.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I miss that watch actually,
Yeah.
because every evening I spent a few minutes looking at it. Now I can't.
Wow. Mm. The time to buy that watch was like 3 or 4 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's like astronomical,
Just gotta sell my house.
compared to
I
what.
got a problem.
Yeah.
It's the demon lipstick.
It's the demon lipstick. Well, anyway, guys, great show tonight. Really appreciate it, everyone. And we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to catch uh, Clayton and his podcast, and the link to his podcast for the Watchdog podcast is in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to Sanjay's channel, and his live streams are every Sunday night at 9 p.m. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Watch Soup. Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.